Hi everyone, and welcome to the Tamp Podcast. In this series, we will be sitting down and discussing in depth all sorts of topics with people from all walks of life, from the worlds of journalism, music and film, the arts, athletes, business people. We plan to sit down and discuss current topics, personal journeys, and bring you what we feel is a nugget of truth in an increasingly surreal world. Stay tuned and watch what we have to offer, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Today I have a very special guest, an outstanding PT who I've worked with myself, fitness guru, relatively new father, and someone who I'm proud to call a friend. Welcome, Joseph Bua Otema.
Thank you very much. Wow, what an introduction.
There you go. You got to have it. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Most guests that we've had, in fact, every guest we've had on so far, the whole thing that has brought us to be in contact with that guest is Tamp Coffee, right? The shop. And I know you're a regular here, and that's how we met. However, I know you're not a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Why don't you drink coffee?
Do you know why I started drinking coffee? I'd be offered coffee by my clients all the time. They're like, do you want a coffee? Do you want a coffee? And I was like, I don't really drink coffee, but green tea, it's good for you. So then I started drinking green teas, and now like a green tea a day. So Tamp for a green tea a day. Don't have anything against coffee. Don't have anything against coffee.
Is it how you don't like the how it makes you feel, the caffeine or the flavor or?
No, I'm fine. I mean, I've drunk coffee and again, nothing against it, but like green points in the green tea, yeah, feel a bit more righteous.
I would probably say it's healthier, but I don't know. There are arguments for and against that coffee is good for you. Every few years, you get articles saying coffee is bad for you, then they say coffee is good for you, then they have to say coffee is bad for you, then they say coffee is good for you, and it's kind of never ending.
Well, in Americano, 0 calories. I've got friends that compete in bodybuilding, and when you're getting close to competition time, yeah, coffees in the morning.
Not just for compete. Well, I guess it's a similar principle, I guess. But I've just recently started doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And you're allowed black coffee. And I find it's one of the few things that helps me get through it towards the last few hours.
Yeah.
I'll have a black coffee, boom, that will get me through to the end.
Yeah, perfect. Raises metabolism, kind of gets you ready, gets you going, gets your heart rate up a little bit. So yeah, perfect.
So your current business is the fitness studio CYKL House, just a few doors up.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about before CYKL House, your background and, how life before fitness, should we say, life before CYKL House? Can you tell us a bit about your history?
Funny enough, I never wanted to get into the fitness industry. It was never in my plans. It was never anything I thought about in terms of a long-term career. Fitness is very near and dear to me. It's always been a passion of mine. And I was like, do I want to work in my passion? Is that going to take away from that passion for me? And that for me was like a no-go, since it was something that helped me in terms of my confidence as a young man, in terms of who I am and part of my identity. But then I remember slowly being like, well, why wouldn't I want to wake up every day and do what I love and share my passion with other people? So for me, it was really a no-brainer once that clicked. And I was like, I can be waking up every day and working in an industry, sharing my passion with people. And that's what I do. So for me, it's like building this and being able to share it with people is good. So once that was clicked in place for me, it's then very easy to sort of follow it down and start business.
And what were you doing beforehand? I know you mentioned to me briefly the other day. I didn't know this. You were a teacher?
Yeah, I was in
Tell me a bit more
teaching.
about that.
I worked at the very exciting end of teaching, not the mainstream one. I used to work at a pupil referral unit. We worked with young people between the ages of 12 to 19 who were at risk of offending, had come out of the system, had behavioral issues, and a host of other things, and maybe some disabilities and things, which meant that mainstream schooling wasn't the ideal place for them. And that's what I did. I did that for 6 years.
And that was around here in West London?
No, South London. So I'm a South Londoner originally.
Okay.
West Londoner now, but yeah, South London raised.
And did you, in your teaching days, did fitness come into that? Did you use that in one of your teaching techniques?
Yeah, it actually did, because I correlate everything in and around my life to fitness because I understand it so well. I spend most of my time but I used to on the weekends work for the youth offending teams. So what we would do is I would create programs for some of the young people who were on supervision orders. They had a certain amount of time that they had to be supervised. So I created gym programs and I take them and we'd undertake these gym programs, show them some development over time, but it would also be tick in the box because it would keep them supervised for these hours that they required. We also taught soft skills, and part of the soft skills we did was your own health and well-being. So I was able to use my knowledge to teach young people about eating better, about why fitness is important, why we should integrate it into part of our lives. And I also did a gym program there as well. So, like I said, everything always converges back to fitness for me.
I'm going to save most of this subject for later on because I
Yeah.
want to get into boxing later. But I just find it interesting that boxing is often used for youth offenders as a track to get them rehabilitated and focused.
Oh, absolutely. The
Um,
discipline. It's the discipline that comes with it, the learning how to control your anger. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits, learning how to control your anger, the way to use it in the right way and make it positive. If you can spin that, I think that definitely is one of the pillars that can help people.
Going back to your business, the Cycle House, because I remember when I first opened, you were just up on the next road. You were at the top floor of
Yeah.
the building.
Yeah.
What are the biggest challenges that you face as Cycle House as a business? What are the biggest business challenges?
So, I mean, I'm glad you asked about the biggest challenges and not the challenges because there's challenges every day. Being a small business owner, you are like, there are like 10 spinning plates going that you're trying to keep going. And every day someone keeps adding another spinning plate whilst the other ones are going and whilst you're trying to keep hold of it. In terms of our biggest challenges, I remember when we started in 2016, and I can't even believe I'm at this point now, still with the business as uphill as the challenge was at the beginning. And I couldn't even envision having my own studio space, a ground floor studio that can be visible from the street. We started in an upstairs space in a room that we had to make fit for purpose that I shared with two other fitness businesses. So going from that to this was a humongous leap. And I mean, the path wasn't linear at all. But it was just a case of working hard and keeping your head down and hoping that it was all going to come to fruition one day, in which it did. In terms of the biggest challenges, like I say, moving from a small business occupying that space into then moving into a bigger business, we had to apply to this landlord. And I was like, look, I'm a small business, but I believe I can do it. We're in the middle of lockdown. We're asking to move into this space. We're a small business that doesn't have huge track record. And luckily, like I said, we just made the case and do that. That's probably one of the biggest challenges, sort of taking this leap. You're exponentially increasing your outgoings, your costs, the amount of business
Business
you have to bring in.
rates.
Yeah. And yeah, and then it all gets real. I was one third of this business and now taking it on, and I've got all the responsibility. Yeah,
It's
few
like
sleepless nights.
it's like the difference going from a sole trader to a limited company, basically.
Oh, exactly. It gets very real very fast. Yeah, and you become aware of that.
And you've still got some of the same customers that you had back in 2016. I know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we're quite proud to say that our retention rate is quite high,
Yeah.
and I think it's because we are a personable business. We care about our community, and we actually work with people, and we're genuinely trying to help people. And I'm glad that's come across. At the beginning, you want to find your business voice, and you're like, well, who are we, and what do we do? What I quickly learned is your clients tell you. So our clients were actually to tell us, "Oh, you're doing this really well," and it's like, "Oh, great," because that's what we actually wanted to do, and we built with our community, and then we've just had a very luckily loyal following that's grown with us.
I'll tell you one of the things that first pulled me in to train with you was how you, despite knowing me for years and seeing me every day, there was zero pressure
Yeah,
to train with you.
yeah,
I never felt pressured or enticed or pushed to go and train with you, despite knowing half of my customers train with you. I
yeah.
see you every day. And that was probably one of the main reasons that I actually went in because I'm like, wow, this is real. This is this. He's the real deal.
I actually remember our conversations. So I remember I would see you. One of my biggest things is that with fitness, it's only going to work when the person's ready for it. As much knowledge as I have, as much enthusiasm as I bring to the table, until a person is ready, it's never going to work. I remember we'd spoken, we'd connected a little bit about boxing.
Yeah.
So we had that groundwork. And we then saw each other a few times, and I was like, look, if you want to come, come. If not, it's absolutely fine. I have people that recommend clients all the time, and I can get someone a recommendation and they can come in day one, week one, or year one. So I know with people, again, it's this point where they've thought about it, mulled it over, and then they're ready to take the step. And that's an easy person to train them.
So you let people find their own time, basically.
I let people, and that's the only way it works.
Yeah, because otherwise you get them in and they'll just give up.
Exactly. They'll give up, or they're not ready for it, or they haven't realized that it's what they really want.
How important is physical health when it comes to mental and overall health?
Oh, I used to go to the gym, and it's so funny. I had a friend, and every time he'd be training, he'd say to me, if it wasn't for the gym, I would be a madman. He said it grounds him and it keeps him just mentally stable. When you're doing fitness and when you're doing weightlifting, you're doing cardio, you're doing all of these different disciplines, you kind of find who you are. I say to my clients sometimes, you're going to find out who you are when you train. You're going to find out when it gets difficult, what can you do? When you want to achieve a goal, how hard can you stick at it? And then you find that by doing that, it gives you something. When you go to a gym and you're waiting to meet people, you become accountable to those people. You become accountable to yourself. It gives you structure. It gives you discipline. You have to be disciplined to achieve your goals because you're then going to start looking into your nutrition. You're going to start doing all of these things. So I find that the correlation between it is absolutely high. I often say I've got a client who will come in and having a bad day, and I'd be like, you won't be like that when you leave. And sure enough, after lifting some heavy weights, they'll feel fine after doing that. The best cure to the bad day is lifting some heavy weights.
I completely agree with you. I wouldn't say just lifting some heavy weights, but throwing some punches is pretty good as well.
Yeah, cathartic.
Yeah. However, let's say someone is stuck in a rut. How can they motivate themselves to kickstart, to look after their physical health?
It's about finding your purpose in what you're doing. Like I said, it's not for me to just tell you, it's for you to find a reason. And I even remember in our training, I watched your process as you found your reasons for training. And then you started to really dig your heels in when you started to get your own goals. I didn't even need to tell you your goals because you knew what you wanted to achieve. So I was like, I think this is what you can do. And this is the framework. And then you'd be coming in earlier than our sessions to jump on the bike and get some cardio. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to add some skipping on top of it. Things outside of what I'd already set for you, you were already doing. You were taking onus of your own fitness and your own journey. And I'm just there to facilitate it.
See, I remember that, but it's like I feel really bad that I'm so far from that now. Yeah, I remember that very clearly.
Yeah, the journey's not linear. I mean, with everyone, you go through peaks and troughs. I've been weight training now for over 20 years, and I can promise you there's days I go to the gym and I don't want to be in the gym. There's weeks where I've taken off where I'm not training. There's times my nutrition's great, there's times my nutrition's not. I just know that it's a marathon and it's not a race. One training session, one good meal is not going to make me fit, it's not going to make me healthy. One bad one is not going to undo everything that I've done. So over time, just more good than bad is what I try and balance out.
I'm going to go back to what you said about you discover yourself in the gym, because you said about me, about my training. Now, when I first came to you, I just wanted to get my fitness up, and it was only, obviously I dabbled with boxing a bit in the past, but it's only getting back into it that I realized I started to rapidly develop this hunger to not only be fit, but I actually wanted to box well.
Yes.
And I didn't know that in me. I didn't know where it came from. And then it you're right. You figure out who you are. I was finding out this side of me, which I had put away for years because I was cathartic or trying to be a musician or living the bohemian life.
Yeah.
And I discovered something about me I genuinely didn't know. And I kind of miss it now, but there are different reasons for not training now.
Yeah, different seasons as well. I
Yeah.
mean, we go through different seasons. I'm currently cutting weight down, so cardio's taking a focus. And even today, I was saying to myself, "Oh, I wish that I was heavy lifting at the moment, but that's not my focus at the moment, and it will be again at another time." But there's only so much time in the day. We've got businesses, we've got all of this stuff going on,
Kids.
and yep, kids, and life gets in the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to do exercise, your biggest contender is going to be life itself.
Which makes the perfect segue for the next section that I want to go into, fatherhood.
Fatherhood. Congratulations to both of us, by
Congratulations
the
to
way.
both of us.
Yep.
Yeah. You became a father for the first time just before me.
Yes.
And I know it's something that I think has really pulled us together. It definitely, I feel when I first became a father, everything was so surreal. I didn't really know what was going on. And I had you going through the same.
Exactly.
Shift a few doors up for me.
Exactly.
And we'd have our regular chats going, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Business owners and new babies. It's a powerful dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is being a father going for you?
Do you know what? I have always known, I've known for a long time that I wanted to be a father. It was always something that I viewed myself as having a child. You can't predict what it's going to be like. You can't predict how much you're going to love this little ball in front of you. My friend said to me, he was like, "You are going to fall in love with this child more than you've ever done." I said, "Of course, I know I am. You don't need to tell me that." What I didn't understand is how deep and how that level is. I've dedicated myself to this business and to working and to building it and to growing it. And it was just absolutely everything for me. So in a sense, that was a child in itself, because a new business is like a newborn baby, and having a business needs as much care and as much input as having that.
It grows and evolves and needs your input. Yeah.
And then you have this other thing, this other child that needs your attention just as much. And you're trying to balance these two things. But I would say before, you used to get Joe when you wanted Joe. You were able to get 24/7, day and night almost, able to get my attention. And now I have something even more powerful pulling me in the other direction. So it's about balancing and trying to find the time for them both. I mean, the business provides for Jacob, so it's an absolute case that is my driving force to make sure that is there for him.
No, for me, it was really important because I think we kind of experienced the same thing at the same time, at a similar stage in our lives as well. I just want to kind of throw it out there for anyone who might watch or listen to this, how grateful I am during that period, and still am, obviously. I'm not saying I don't appreciate you now, but having you around, especially during that first year of becoming a father, meant a hell of a lot to me, was really supportive. And I want to say to any other new fathers out there, anyone who's listening, try and find that person who is experiencing the same as you.
Yes.
Because it helps.
I mean, I went through 6 months of not knowing what I was doing.
I remember.
It was like a white knuckle ride, and you don't know what twists and turns are coming. And you're just trying to navigate all these new emotions, these ups and downs. And thankfully, we could kind of go with through them together. There is nothing better than you going through something difficult and someone saying me as well. Yeah. When someone says me as well, you're like,
but being able to call someone and go, let's walk around the block.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a blessing. That's a real blessing.
Absolutely.
And I would say to anyone who's a new father and is completely lost as I was, do that. Go and look for someone else in the same position as you to share that with.
Exactly.
What does being a father mean to you?
Oh, it's absolutely part of my identity. So when I walk around now, people are like, that's Jacob's dad.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like a badge of honor for me. I love that. That's a label I'll very happily take on.
You want a t-shirt, who's the daddy?
Exactly. Being able to watch and develop. That's one of the things. I'm just watching this little person develop, understand things and navigate the world, and experience different things, and just watching him get it and being part of that journey for me is like amazing. Yeah.
And how much they absorb like sponges.
Yes. So you got to watch your behavior and watch what you say and watch what you do, because they'll start to pick it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What are the most important lessons you would like to teach your child?
I often think about this because I go through the movies that I need him to watch. So I've already got like a catalogue of movies.
Oh, throw me some names.
I mean, Kung Fu classics.
What?
You know, old Jackie Chan.
Enter the Dragon?
Enter the Dragon, old Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee movies.
Steven
that I grew
Seagal.
up on. Do you know what it is as well? The things that we learn in those movies,
Yeah.
because there's lessons for life. My training was modeled on some of these things. You remember they would lose the fight, they'd have to go and train even harder, they'd go back to fight their nemesis and then be able to conquer them because of the training that they've done. These are all lessons and things that rolled into that. So I think it's very important for him. I think relaying my values as well, the things that I hold dear, and trying to see if I can relay them to him in a way that he understands. He's growing up in a different time with different pressures, with a whole host of different things that he's going to experience that I may not relate to in its entirety, but I think there are some core fundamentals that I hope to be able to share with him.
I completely agree with you, because I think one of my biggest fears with my daughter is I need to prepare her for a world which I know I have no idea what this world is going to be like.
Exactly.
Because I don't know what the future is going to be like, but what I do know, it's going to be nothing like this.
Yeah, it's going to be supercharged.
It is.
Everything that we're experiencing, they're going to be getting information much faster. They're going to have access to so many more things than we did. So it is like we were the basic version. And how do we extrapolate that in this ever advancing
Core
changing
values,
world?
as you said.
Exactly.
Core values, and hopefully they can take that with them.
Yeah.
Because there is something, we're the generation that, I've heard this described, that we're the last generation that grew up in the analog world,
Yeah.
and are now in the digital world, and we
Yes.
know both.
And we know both. We transitioned through it and had
Yeah.
to learn and had to adapt. Whereas now, yeah, they have it right out of the gate.
Like, I got a birthday card the other day with a cassette on it. It was really cool, 1980 style. And I showed my partner, and I'm like, you know what? Our daughter's never going to know what cassette was.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I reckon vinyls will still be around because they've become back in fashion. But I mean, yeah, the world that we grew up in was different. As you said, even the films were different. Personally, I feel there was a certain, maybe I'm just being nostalgic, but I feel like films from the 80s and 90s
Yeah.
had something which films today don't.
Oh, exactly. Golden era. Yeah.
You know, we had our
Golden era
heroes.
cinema. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and I still, I don't know, I struggle to see heroes in the same light today on TV or in movies as we had when we were kids.
Oh, exactly.
You know, we had Van
Yeah.
Damme, we had Dolph Lundgren, we had
Yeah.
Stallone, we had them all. We had
Where's
all
this
of them.
generation's
We-
Chuck Norris?
Exactly, we had all of them. We had Bruce Lee. We had all of them.
Yeah,
Who's there today? I mean,
Exactly.
can you compare The Rock to these guys? With all respect to him, I
it
don't
doesn't
think you can.
translate. No, it doesn't translate the same.
Jackie Chan's probably the closest, but even he's now getting older.
Yeah,
But that 80s and 90s, and I think it was the same with the music. Yesterday, I was randomly, it just popped up on Instagram. Michael Jackson's set at halftime at the Super Bowl in 1993 or something.
yeah,
And I was watching that, and my hair stood up, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. we're talking a real performer.
Wow.
Someone who commanded
that
the stage.
was the king of pop.
Yeah,
I mean, irrelevant of your opinion on him now, what he did. If you grew up in that period, and I'm like,
Yeah.
who is there today?
exactly. Who can stand in front of an audience for 10 minutes and people will scream for all 10 of those minutes
Or faint.
and faint. Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
But anyway, that's just me getting nostalgic. What advice would you give to any soon-to-be or new fathers listening or watching?
I would say one of the things I think is you definitely have to try and just be patient through the process. You are not going to know what's coming. You have to try and be flexible. You have to learn as much as you can, as quick as you can, and try and evolve as a person, really, I think is the overarching theme there. because you're going to be responsible for another person's life. And that's a daunting task if you think about the first 18 years of responsibility, the costs that are going to be involved, the guiding and the steering of this person's life, looking after them in several different ways. So the growth within yourself, if you can grow as your child is growing and you can
you have to
try and become the person that they need you to be, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it is life changing, and you can choose to either change with it or try and not accept it, and that doesn't often work out well.
Exactly.
So you do have a choice.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's kind of like sink or swim, really.
It is. It is. And you're going to be put in situations where it's like, can you sink or swim?
Yeah.
Can you figure it out? I know you must have had the same experience as me the first time doing some solo parenting, taking the baby out for yourself,
Yeah.
and how
It's surreal.
nerve-wracking that is.
It's surreal. I still remember it. It's like, just the only word I can describe it is surreal. I mean, I think, you know, and I spoke about this with my partner a lot, how I think the bond between me and my daughter wasn't immediate. For her, she had this being growing inside her for so
Yeah.
long, attached to her. She could feel her heartbeat, you know, it's inside her. So by the time she was born, she had kind of already had this bonding period. For me, I found it more difficult because I'm like, so there's a baby, you know, in her womb, and we've not met yet. And I mean, even as much as you think about it, until the moment the baby's born, it just doesn't click.
There's no way you can be connected to the process in the same way, because we're talking strong biological
Yeah.
bonds that are built, and we're sort of on the outside looking in, trying to sort of keep everything else contained around that. But yeah, it comes out. I think for me, it was the instant weight of responsibility. That was that was the one I felt.
I think I'd say the same because I was, I mean, you know, being a bachelor for most of my life and, you know, not really being committed to too many things. Yeah, I had my business, but I don't think I really challenged myself much and took on that much responsibility as much as I should have. And then it suddenly hit me and I was like, wow. It was definitely surreal, overwhelming. I think it took time
Yeah.
to bond. I think, for example, I found it quite difficult whilst my baby didn't show any emotion in her face.
Yeah.
So I found when she started to smile and things like this, then I feel it really started to kind of fast forward.
Yeah.
But the beginning was tough. And I'm saying this out loud on purpose because I think, you know, at one point I felt guilty. I'm like, you know, should I be feeling more right now? You know, am I doing something wrong? Am I a bad father? Am I a bad parent? Am I a bad partner? And I had all of these doubts in my mind at the beginning. But I think it's important that, you know, you just do the best you can and kind of sink or swim.
You do the best you can, though. I think that's it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're really, you want to be a father, you care for this child and everything. We're never going to get everything perfect. We're going to make our mistakes along the way. We're going to make the wrong decisions at the wrong time. We're going to make the right decisions at the right time. But as long as you're doing your best, really, that's it at the end of the day.
You're doing our best. And also, I think we're doing something, and I'm presuming this applies to you too, because it's what I've picked up from you and what I've seen, even though I don't know how you were brought up. But I think we're doing something that wasn't done to us.
Yes.
So fatherhood today is not what it was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we're learning, and I think we understand the importance of our presence and our role.
Yeah.
And we're implementing this in a way that was not done with us. Would you agree with that?
I think you're getting into the deep psychology of it now. If we look at the sort of psychological and biological thing, this is a copy of us. And what we're trying to do is we are trying to make this copy a better version of us. So we take our past experiences, things that we've learned, and we try to do a better version. We try to one up. We try to get them to achieve what we did faster, to learn the lessons that we did, to and we're always trying to get it in a better way. We're always striving. And I think that's one of the biggest drivers to say, I want you to do things faster, to do things better, to have a better experience overall than I did. And I think that's what drives us.
But I think what I'm trying to get at more is the parenting techniques that we had.
Yeah.
And I'm basically being a father in a way that I wasn't taught how. Do you see what I mean?
I grew up in an African household.
Right.
The level of strictness, as is well known, is quite high. So we had all of these things, and I remember being like, I'm going to be a strict father. I'm going to do all of these things that I did. And then you just look at him and you're just like, nah, I think I can do it another way. And again, we're in a different time, so you could be parented in a different way. I had a lot more freedom. I was able to roam and go around London at myself at a younger age, which I won't be doing at the same age because it's a different time. We're in a different environment.
It is a different time. I don't know I don't know how it's different. If we talk about safety, I used to roam around London as well. And I know it's not so common now. And I'm trying to figure out, for example, is London more dangerous now than it was? I'm not sure.
I've had this conversation with someone the other day, and it's not necessarily more dangerous. We're just more aware.
Yeah.
So we are more aware of things that maybe we wouldn't have been before. And I think that heightened sense of awareness could possibly lead to more apprehension and more fear about things. Yeah.
Which might be a good thing.
Exactly.
Could do.
Yeah. Knowledge is powerful, but it's dangerous as well.
Yeah. And also, something I can't remember, one of the previous podcasts we spoke about this, something that happens today that didn't happen before is that everything's recorded today.
Yeah.
We grew up, we could go to a house party, we could act like a complete lunatic.
Yeah.
And boom, it's done, it's history.
And
I mean, people might talk about it at school, you might get a nickname.
Exactly.
But it's gone.
Yeah.
Now, that's it, you're in trouble. It's recorded, it's on social media, it's out everywhere.
Exactly.
It's scary.
And it's going to track you for the rest of your life. Yeah.
It's and I don't know how to prepare someone for that, because I didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah, going back to something we were talking about earlier, this is one of the pressures that they're facing. The information's coming through faster. Information about you is going out faster. Things that you're doing, the actions that you're taking are out there in the ether forever.
It is scary, and I often think, what's the best way to prepare my daughter for this? And the short answer is, I don't know. And we just go back to what you said earlier. You just try and instill morals, and hope that if you instill the right moral guide in them, that will help them steer in any situation they're in.
Yeah.
Whether it be a digital world, fast-paced world. I mean, God knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's have some fun.
Okay.
Boxing. So I know we both like our boxing, training, watching. I'm going to start with a big question. Greatest of all time.
Okay, so this is a very subjective question. You ask everyone, they're going to have a different answer. For me, Mike Tyson. Hands down, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was able to instill fear in his opponents before he'd even got in the ring. I know a popular answer is Muhammad Ali, and you get a lot of that. But for me, Mike Tyson, his reign, I mean, this was a guy who, his personal story has well affected. This was a guy who was bullied and got into boxing because he was bullied and created this persona to sort of protect himself, and then became a world-renowned boxer. His technique, I've followed his technique, his fighting style, his ferociousness.
No one had ever seen anything like his technique.
Oh, I know. And he made good TV. You were going to watch a fight because you knew this was going to be a fight.
I mean, I just saw, again, it popped up on my Instagram earlier. So at the Tyson fight, I saw literally everyone would go. There was Jack Nicholson, there was Nicolas Cage, there was Will Smith, there was literally every single celebrity you could think of was there.
Yeah.
That's what Mike Tyson did.
Yes. And you wanted to be there to watch it, to see how quick he would take this guy out.
Yeah.
You weren't there to watch a fight.
You wanted to see him knock him out.
Yeah. Exactly.
And again, we're going to that period of the 80s and 90s, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it's like, who's the replacement there? But I'm gonna use this because you mentioned it at the same time. What makes the greatest? I was going to ask you, what makes the greatest? Is it most wins? Is it most comebacks? Is it most weight divisions? Or is it, as you're saying, how this guy would literally win fights before he even walks in the ring?
So one of the things, the debates that I'm aware of that's going on right now is this undefeated title. So now every boxer wants this undefeated title because you've got the likes of Floyd Mayweather who have gone for many, many fights. But then you've got boxers from other generations that they were fighting more fights. They were facing opponents, so they would go for the hardest opponents. So I think if we look at one single metric, that might not give you necessarily the best. Because would you not argue that someone who fights all of the hardest fights and is able to come out victorious in these hard fights are a person who does that?
Absolutely. I wouldn't say someone undefeated necessarily is the best. I think a sign of one of being a true great is also coming back from defeat. So
Exactly.
I would say someone who can have lost and then gone on to win again,
Yeah.
that is a true great. And that's where I think the Muhammad Ali comes in. Unfortunately, he was before my time.
Yeah.
So I've seen the videos, but it's like, I guess, our parents can talk about Ali in the same way we can talk about Tyson.
Yes.
But we can't talk about Ali like that because we
No,
just went around.
you weren't there. You weren't in the environment. You weren't staying up to watch it. Like I've stayed up to watch boxing matches and really living it.
But then there's another argument at what makes the greatest is someone who can win in most weight divisions. So someone who's a champion
Yeah.
in more than one weight division.
Yeah.
And we've got a few of them out there. I mean, Mayweather actually is one of them.
Yeah.
Pacquiao even more, I think. He had more weight divisions, didn't he?
Yeah, you've got quite a few fighters, and coming up in weight as well is a hard task because when you come up in weight, you're then the lowest of that new weight.
Yeah.
And you've got these people who sit naturally at this higher weight who are possibly going to have more power. Because you're going to trade off power for speed and all of these different things. You're going to be moving up in a class, move up another class, and these people are going to start hitting harder and harder. And you're going to have to take that.
That's why I have massive respect for people who go up weight divisions. And I think one of the greatest who's done this there's several people out there because something I'm going to talk about later is the Conor Ben Jr. fight.
Yeah.
Because there was a massive weight difference there.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about Usyk.
Usyk.
Because this guy rocked the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
He is not a natural heavyweight.
On paper, he's not supposed to do what he did.
So how's he done it?
He is, a few things about Usyk is he's number one, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He's got a strong heart. And we know from some of the other Ukrainian boxers that they build good boxers in Ukraine.
They do.
As well as that,
But even if, I know we can talk about the Klitschko's, but the Klitschko's, they didn't come close to doing what Usyk has done.
What Usyk has done in a very short amount of time. But he's also a very adaptable guy. So Usyk, whereas some fighters will take a fight to get back into it and then be able to figure this person out, you'll see Usyk doing that from round to round. You'll see him turning it up when he needs to. You'll see him changing his style when he needs to. And it's this toughness coupled with his ability to adapt that creates a really good fight. And we can see that in action.
Because, I mean, to think someone like Usyk against Fury, I mean, just the height difference alone. I mean, as anyone who's done a little bit of boxing will know, that punching down there takes much less energy than punching up there.
And we're talking about a very competent fighter. We're talking about
Fury's good.
One of the most technically proficient fighters out there with great footwork, good cardio, everything that you could want. So this is a guy who's coming up in weight and he's going toe to toe with the best that we currently have.
And Fury is fantastic. And one of the things I love about Fury is that he's like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's like the complete opposite of what we imagine a heavyweight boxer to be.
And he
we think of,
performs exactly the opposite to all of those expectations that you may form.
so we're used to seeing big, muscly guys,
Yeah.
super fit, in shape, and he's got this kind of ogre look about him. He's always got his belly, and but the guy is an incredible boxer.
Incredible boxer, yeah. Like I said, one of the most technically proficient. If you watch him, you can watch a masterclass in watching him fight.
He's twice champion, isn't he?
Yeah, he's at least.
I think he came back to
Yeah. Oh, he gave up. He gave up the belt.
Yeah, and then came back and won.
So
that's the thing. That's one of the markers that I say that really defines a great.
I mean, particularly with what we know from his life and how it went, he was dealing with all of these things of depression and all of these things. So not only leaving boxing, facing sort of his own personal adversity, and then coming back and winning.
But actually, now that you mention that, we can talk about that a little bit, because that is quite a sad and unfortunately quite common reality for retired boxers. It happens a lot, no matter what level, whether they've achieved it or not, but even to the greatest world champions, retirement can prove really difficult for boxers and often results in drug misuse, massive weight gain, real issues. And it's something which I think is quite sad about, going from that real high to the void afterwards. And we see it time after time. It's not just Fury that it happens to. Greats struggle when they're no longer great.
Well, I think when you hyper focus on something, when you dedicate your life to something and it becomes who you are as a person, so that early morning running, your nutrition, training camps, and you're always building up to the next fight. You have a little downtime, but you're always building up to the next fight. This becomes your reality. So when you retire, you've suddenly taken away this reality. Your reason for waking up, your reason for doing what you're doing, it's then like at that point, if you haven't built something else around it, if you haven't got a backup, then what do? We see it with Olympians as well. You spend 4 years for some people for a single moment, and all of a sudden that's taken away, and it's a very stark reality for you to deal with that. So I think that is one of the issues. Like I say, not only boxers and Olympians, but sports people in general, and anyone who dedicates their life to something so much and then suddenly pivots and doesn't have that anymore. The thing that was the anchor in their life is suddenly not there anymore, and you're in free fall.
And you can see that with people like Mike Tyson and demise of him. Luckily, I think he's doing all right now.
Absolutely, he's turned it around with a lot of different things, and I think part of it for him as well was family, having the right people around you, and just finding your redirection.
I think facing his demons as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
He talks openly about himself, his aggression, how he grew up, and facing those demons is you have to live with them. You can't run away from it, because if you run away from them, that's when you get danger.
Exactly.
That's when you go to drug use. That's when you go, so.
And I think part of his success is people resonate with that. So they've been able to watch his journey and resonate with elements of it and see who he is, and not just Iron Mike Tyson, the guy that knocks people out in one round, but the human being behind that.
Yeah. Now, the opposite to Mike Tyson, or we could say potential comparison to a young Mike Tyson, Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dubois, yeah.
Did you watch the AJ Dubois fight?
I did watch the AJ Dubois fight.
Did you expect that to happen?
It was a very funny fight watching it, because he came out very different to how he usually comes out in his fight. So he had completely thrown the Daniel Dubois rulebook out and came in and was like, I want this, and I'm going to show how much I want this. And you saw that in his energy. So he was completely a different animal. And I think he'd really studied, he'd really worked hard. And I remember him saying, you're the king, so you got to watch out for me, because I don't have anything to lose and you have everything to lose. And that was his attitude coming out there. It was a very good fight to watch.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely have to give some kudos to AJ, because Joshua held quite a few punches before the one that took him out. He held quite a few punches, and it was good to see that from him, this sort of toughness.
But this is why I think it was so incredible, because Joshua learned from his previous mistakes, and Joshua came out to fight this time.
Oh yeah,
He
absolutely.
didn't get lazy.
Yeah.
He trained hard and he came out to fight. But Dubois was just too much for him.
Yeah, and Dubois was hungry. Dubois was hungry, and he knew what he wanted, and he knew he had everything to gain, and it was all there in front of him.
And there's something else I love about Dubois is I love his humility.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have that arrogance of, you know, so many superstars have.
Yeah. You can see it in his interviews.
Yeah.
He is straight to the point. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I think he's great. Great to the scene. So, Dubois Usyk is planned.
Dubois Usyk, yeah, again.
And this is for the undisputed.
Exactly.
Which not many people get a chance at.
And the first fight was controversial. I mean,
I know people said it was a low blow. People said Dubois won that. I remember the first fight.
So I think it's a very good question to be answered. It's going to be a good fight. We're all looking forward to it. We all want to see what happens when they go back in again. We've got a slightly more confident Dubois after his win. So he'll be coming back for blood, I think.
But I think they're both better than they were first time.
Oh, absolutely.
Well. So Dubois is better than he was, but I also think Usyk is better than he was.
Yeah. It's a real 2.0. We're going to see an upgrade in both.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
when is it planned? June, July? I think it's coming up.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact date, but I know that.
Right,
yeah,
that night is booked off. In fact, should probably come over and watch it.
Yeah, we should.
There's another fight I want to bring up. Ben Eubank Jr.
Yes.
What was that, man?
That was insanity. Talk about a British fight. That was an instant classic. My
hairs are standing up on end just talking about it. I mean, that was. Look, I'm even lost for words.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw a boxing match like that.
As I was watching it, I was like, this is an instant classic. I was instantly thinking about 20, 30 years in the future when people are talking about this fight. Talk about people putting themselves on the line. Conor Benn put himself on the line and he laid everything out.
Because this was, as I was referring to earlier, Conor Benn was a lower weight class, wasn't he? So this was quite challenging for him, just physically, let alone psychologically.
Absolutely. You're going in there with a guy that's bigger than you it can be a very difficult task.
But he was the aggressor, and this is the amazing thing. He was the smallest guy. He was the aggressor. And I remember seeing round 5, round 6, all the commentators going, well, he's going to run out of steam soon. He's going to run. And he didn't. He kept being the aggressor.
I thought that halfway through the first round, I was like, how long can he keep this up for? And he kept going. I mean, credit to his conditioning. Whatever he did in his camp, he must have worked so hard to be able to maintain that pace round after round.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think there was a loser.
No, it was a good duel. And I think it was when Eubank Jr. at the end of the fight was talking about how tough Conor Benn had made it for him, how he drug him out into deeper waters, how he had made it a very difficult evening for him, speaks to how much he wanted from it. Now, when you look at it, it was a very good fight from both sides. Again, it's going to be one that people are going to argue who should have won. I think the decision was right in the end, but man, it was an absolute brilliant fight.
Well, it depends, because if you can win a fight for heart, I think Ben would have won it.
Exactly.
But that's not how fights are judged.
No. But it is taken into consideration. It's not the be all and end all. They do kind of take heart into consideration, but you need more factors than just purely heart.
And I think importantly, as we were talking about, the importance of fathers earlier, the importance and the presence of these guys' fathers was really important. And do you think that Eubank Senior's presence may have given him the edge?
Absolutely, because this was a cool little sub story that was going on in the background. So for people who knew that Eubank and his father had sort of been estranged just before the fight, and there was a question whether he was going to turn up or not, and I think that made a lot of people really proud to see that. And I think it really unified the whole thing, having the two fathers there, the respects that was shown by the fathers as well. Even Conor Ben mentioning, with all the lead up and all of the animosity that was there, how proud he was of Eubank Sr. being there was such a great thing to watch. So we're not only talking about a great fight that's an instant classic, we're talking about things bigger than the fight, the family and the message that that sent across to people as well.
Yeah.
So it was on so many levels such a great fight.
I just thought it was a great night
Mm.
overall, other than, going to hospital. Luckily, they checked out all right, but you never want to see someone going to.
No, but I mean, if you watch the fight and you see how they go at it, yeah, you can understand why.
Is AJ Fury going to happen, do you think?
So I think prime AJ Fury time has come and gone. Where it would have had the maximum effect, I think we've lost that window. Not to say that it couldn't come back again.
I think they can still sell out Wembley Stadium.
Oh, but that being said, that question still needs to be answered. So we all still want to know the answer. AJ Fury, what happens? So that question is absolutely one that's out there and we still want answered. But if we're talking the maximum effect, that would have been a global phenomenon of a fight.
Yeah, but they were big. I mean, even the Eubank Junior Ben fight. I mean, we're talking. It wasn't even a title fight, was it?
No, and
Was it?
Ben was in New York and people were recognizing him in New York from that fight. So, like I said, it really rippled out.
But I think there is space for big non-title fights.
Yeah.
There is a market for it still.
Like I said, there's a question that people are very interested in the answer for, and AJ Fury is going to be one of those questions.
And this is going to contradict something I said earlier about the 80s and 90s. Do you think? Because I think we are. I think we're in a great age of boxing right now.
Particularly, we've seen after sort of maybe a stagnant 10-year in the heavyweight division.
Heavyweight was stagnant, but the other divisions were great.
Yes.
When we had, Sal, Canelo Alvarez, Pacquiao,
Absolutely.
Mayweather, they were taking all, we had some great boxers in the lower divisions.
Yes. I'll tell you who definitely I look forward to watching, Gervonta Davis.
Yes.
His fights
Yes.
absolutely, like, he is an absolute stick of dynamite. And I think watching his fights are definitely entertaining. They bring that old sort of like Tyson-esque atmosphere about it because he's such a good boxer. And I just enjoy it.
But we do have a good heavyweight division right now.
Yeah.
It's not like there's, because, one of the arguments against Tyson's period was that he had no challengers.
Yes.
We can't say that today.
And there are people coming up through the ranks. We've got some good names to look out for.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
What's your opinion on exhibition matches? Logan Paul against Tyson.
I've got friends who are more purists about their boxing.
Yeah.
Who absolutely hate it. I look at it as sort of like a sideshow. I take it for what it is, that it's purely entertainment and it's fun. The same way they did celebrity boxing,
Yeah.
And they had those kind of things. I look at it as that we've got our traditional boxing, and then we've got this, which is something else.
Just runs parallel.
It runs parallel. I don't view them the same. Absolutely.
Now let me ask you. Here's a real big question.
Okay, go for it. Shoot.
What would you do if your son said he wanted to become a pro boxer?
A pro boxer. I've actually thought about this.
Really?
I am big into the discipline and everything that boxing has, and I would love for him to learn boxing, the confidence it gives him, the fitness, all of these other things, and the skills that it will build. As for watching my son in the ring fighting someone else, I'd have to say not ideal, and a path that I certainly wouldn't push.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I think the chances. Well, I don't know. You never know what they want to do, but if I think it's funny because I've always thought my daughter. She's so athletic. She's not even 2 years old yet, but I've always thought she could be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that. If I had the option, would I push away from boxing? Probably, yeah. However, I would be fully supportive if she wanted to dedicate her life to sport and athletics. Because I think it can be done. It's been shown in this day and age you can make a living off sport.
Absolutely.
You can, times are different as when we were growing up. When we were growing up, you were either the world champion or you were nothing.
Yeah.
Now there is a living for non-champions.
Absolutely.
Well. So I would be supportive of sport, boxing.
Yeah.
I don't know. If anything, I'd say go down the jiu-jitsu route.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Did you do any other combat sports growing up?
No. The one sport I did most, I really dedicated myself more, was capoeira.
Ah,
And I
okay.
did that from when I was about 18 until about mid-20s, so maybe 4 or 5 years. And I got pretty good.
Yeah.
I got pretty good at it. And that was the thing I stuck at longest. I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu. It's funny, we used to train in the basement of SOAS with these, this was like the first wave of Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters that came to London. This was back in like 2000. And they taught me a few of the basics and I liked it, but I never got that into jiu-jitsu. I found it easier. And I don't know whether it's because I find it a romantic sport and people go, well, how can you call boxing a romantic? I find boxing as a romantic sport.
Yeah.
And I don't mean romantic as in romance between a man and woman. I mean, there's something, I find there's something nostalgic about it, something romantic. When you think about the Rocky Marcianos, you watch the Rocky films, you see Mike Tyson up there, you even see videos of Ali. For me, there is something romantic about boxing. And I don't feel quite the same way with like MMA and jiu-jitsu.
When I was a teenager, I used to do Shaolin Kung Fu.
Wow.
Yeah, I did a stint.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Didn't quite go the full route, go to like a monastery.
Did you get influence from Wu-Tang Clan as well?
I mean, Wu-Tang Clan, the films that I used to watch. I thought I was going to be a fully fledged Shaolin Kung Fu monk.
Well, there you go. You never know where life's going to take us.
You never know, exactly.
Joe, I want to thank you very much for being part of this. It's been absolutely wonderful. I'm glad we finally got you on.
Yep.
It's been absolutely great. And I think we'll probably get you on again in the future.
Oh, I'm ready to. I'm glad the chair held up. I'm always worried about chairs and holding my weight. So
good chairs, man. These
got good chairs.
Cool, man. Thank you very much, Joe.
You're very welcome, bro.
If you like this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we will be having weekly episodes launching.